again here today. Wow, what a day. We were pretty happy with our trading. I hope you are happy with yours because traders stay late, so let's get started right now. Tesla, huge miss. No, it is wrong. So just run over to my screen there. It's one of the tabs. You know what it looks like right there. As we'll get that going and get that all fixed right now for you. But hey, what a great day. Thank you so much for staying. Let's start it off. We always start with market recap. It's near one of the first ones on the tab. Want me to come over there? It looks like, all right, we're going to get that all. We can take that topic thing off until it gets updated. You'll probably see that in a minute. The icon, yeah, it's pretty easy over there, Fabian. There we go. He got it. Okay, there it is. All right, yeah, I know. I have a lot of tabs right there. So, all right, let's go. Sector recap time. What a good day it was for oil. We talked about that, up 2.5%. It was a crazy one to end the day for oil there. Really shot up. USO, we're really happy with our XLE position. We did take some off today. So just an update on that. We forgot to mention that on the main show. Getting some out of XLE. Look at that drop down. We were really nervous there, but it did hold the two. Look, the more I do this show and the more I talk about this with you guys, we talked about IWM the other day, possibly to buy some of this IWM near the bottom. But look, you've broken below the 200 period on this. I feel way more comfortable, very similar to how we trade on the show, buying stocks when you're at key technical levels, not necessarily at bottoms like this, because you could break lower. So the IWM here, the Russell, the small caps, we talked about micro cap last time, but the IWM coming in, I feel like if you're gonna wait for 168 where we are now, why not give it a little more love to the downside? We have huge tech names coming starting next week, well, even into the end of this week. But next week we have Meta and Google. Those are two that I'm very excited for. And then of course you're gonna see what happens with Apple. But Apple, I feel like, is on its own little island sometimes. So let's wait to see what happens with Apple. So today, what are the three sectors that are up? Pretty straightforward here today. If you come over to the screen, Ramin, you're going to see that we have USO, so that's oil. We have gold, GLD, and we have silver to the upside as well. So that's it. That's the board. Look at that redness coming through there one more time. Not good at all. I do want to quickly go through something. It is roll call. Nope. Stream Deck is down over here, of course, because, you know, nothing. She got it. Okay, there it is. Roll call. So let's do that real quickly here as I pop out the chat. I just want to say, man, if you're here now, traders are staying late. So let me go live chat, see who's here right now. B. Davis, is here. I feel like your means something, but there it is right there. So I'll say that. Watch out. Oh, there's another one. What does your mean, Ramin? Yo, okay, it means yes. You know, for me, when I was growing up, like yo was something. Now it's your. It basically means that. Okay, thank you so much. That's one of the good things. I'm really glad that we hired people that are like 20 years younger than us, because when things happen here, I can add, you know, it's like, this is a true story. Now, I don't know if I should be saying this, but whatever, I'll say whatever I want. My kid, who's 11, is known as the Riz Man at his school. So I don't think is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. I think it's a good thing, but again, like a lot of the ladies, and Charisma, okay, so that's good, because my wife had a talk with the principal because he's the Riz Man walking around. We just wanted to make sure that everything was pretty cool. I wonder where he gets that from, but anyway, shout out to who else is here. What's up to Jack, Mac, Noah, Dennis? If my wife is in the chat, shout out to you too. She knows what we're talking about right there. Tony Price, LOL. Yeah, that is dope. Yeah, that was something when we were growing up. That was, oh, you know what? This is really going to date us. And no, this does not mean Rite Aid. But remember when we used to say that was rad? I feel like that was something. Oh, here we go. Ramin. Hydration Nation. Yo, what's up? All right, enough roll call for now. Look, I'm going to be here for you guys. We'll keep that on the side as we see some more coming through. UNG, the Widowmaker, continuing to widow make as UNG, nice little downside move again today. You thought you were all good, UNG, by hitting that top, but guess what? You hit the 50 period or the 200 period Grim Reaper up there at $8. Nice fall back into $7 today. UNG taking names back down to the downside. I've never wrapped my head around this, but I know there are some nat gas traders. Every day it just seems like it's back and forth. XHP, there it is, man, the home builders. See you later. I'm still excited to hear about Berkshire's next update because this has been really kicked. The reason why it's been interesting to us is because back in July, when the home builders were making these new highs, is when we got the report that there's a few new positions for Warren and Berkshire coming through. So I want to hear, did they sell it into the beginning of Q4? And if they did that, then you're going to see, I'd hate for we get a report that this guy sold September 1st back at the highs. That'd be crazy because it's pulled back quite a bit right there. But hey, man, money always seems to win. And honestly, when that guy's collecting when I heard that he collected a $280 million dividend check from Apple, I was just like, okay. And Apple doesn't even pay that much dividend. I think it's less than 1% right now. But okay, there's FXI on China. This one's been a good short that we've talked about over and over again. Again, as you get more tensions in the Middle East, I feel like there's always going to be talk about what's the next move. We've seen basically the big powers of the world come through, right? We've seen Russia go ahead and, talk about Ukraine and those problems going through there. Then you've had now, obviously, going back and forth with Hamas and Israel. That's been decades long. I mean, we don't have to talk about the history there as that goes way, way back. And then now you have China, Taiwan, which could at some point sort of relive that angst. Hopefully not. But you do get President Biden giving some shade as well back to some of those restrictions there in China. So for me, this FXI, still a worry spot. Let's go back to the screens here. So FXI down 1.7%. The biggest name for me in that is going to be Alibaba. I don't know if weighted wise it's the biggest name, but look, you're ready to drop through 80 bucks on Alibaba. That's going to be quite disastrous as well. Let me just check out, what did we get for earnings today? Let me just check out on TI. Is anything hitting here into the open? I'm not seeing much right now. Oh, there's ISRG. So this was a report that came through here. Again, Intuitive Surgical, if we can, yeah, there it is. Downside now down to 250, coming back in. For some reason, let me see if I can just reload the buy side here to see if anything's coming through. We had Intuitive Surgical there, and then we also had WAL. Are they out? Western Alliance, okay, there it is, 10/19th, yeah. Western Alliance rising there. That's early though. So I don't know if it's out yet, but down to $44 WAL. So we're not getting too much right now. It is out right now? No, not out yet, so it says Brendo. So we'll wait on that. And we also do have to say a shout out to Benzinga that has the pro feed for us here right now. So we'll see if it comes through. Nothing hitting yet on Intuitive, well, there's Intuitive Surgical right here. Q3 missing, beating on EPS, but missing on sales. So that's sending them to the downside. We're not going to go over all the numbers. You can see it's green. It just looks like the only miss is on the estimate. We'll see about guiding forward. Some stocks have, again, sort of refused and taken away, not refused, refusing to guide. It's not like that's a rule or anything like that. So we'll wait for ISRG, nice downside move, and we will wait for Western Alliance. What else right now? It's 409. Not much else happening. It was a busy day for the NASDAQ. Again, we saw a nice move up, nice move down, kind of just closing where, not necessarily where it opened. You're down 1.2% right now on the Qs. If we're going to go through a 10-minute chart, you did have Fed Chair Powell speak at noon, which is right here, starting it down, back to the upside again, fading out all the way into the close. So we tried to test AMD at 102. That failed. Is AMD moving here at the end of the day? Again, look at that 102 support. So that was a level there to watch out for tomorrow, bouncing up to 102.30 here in the after hours for AMD. All right, let's go over to the next topic quickly as we talk about earnings. Sometimes it's like breaking news. But again, we're not getting anything other than ISRG right now. So that's a long one. There's ISRG coming in. Nice move to the downside, breaking through to 250. Watch out for that play coming in. And then the other one that we had on was Western Alliance, was the only mark that I had there because I just figured a lot of you traders out there interested in these regionals. And as you can see, fat finger down to the downside, brought it all the way back up. Nothing to report yet on Western Alliance. So we do get Daniel Shea coming through in just a couple minutes. I do want to talk. We did have a great Tesla trade on. We were going to review Tesla afterwards. Maybe we could do that now as we're, again, not too many earnings coming through. A big shout out to everybody who's here once again today. We had I don't know if it was a record or not yesterday. I'm going to call it a record number of viewers. Thank you so much for all of that. And that might have been because we had the biggest and the baddest come through with Tesla. So what I want you to do now is hit the like, hit the subscribe. Little light on earnings, but not light on guests, as Ms. Shea will be joining us very, very soon. So what did we talk about with Tesla today? Well, unfortunately, we switch our computers, so we have some of these wicks to deal with. So it's not going to look as dramatic of a move down. But I learned this from Brian Shannon, which, how coincidental. We have his book right here. He's coming on next week to take a Q&A with everybody. And he told me something pretty interesting. When there's a gap, wait for VWAP. I say VWAP, but VWAP, so rhymes right there. So guess what? Here's Tesla today. Gapped down, started the day down, I guess it was 6 or 7% into here, about 228, 230. Had a nice move up to the 200. So if you're playing 200 period moves, that's your trade right there. So we're actually skipped it all the way down to trade review right now with Tesla, but we're gonna still have Danielle Shea on. There it was right there, but then it came back to VWAP right there, and we shorted it. Again, thanks to Brian for that, but that was a trade that we really wanted in there at 226. It was the pre-market bottom, plus it gave VWAP, and then my out was going to be right there, 227. Now, again, a lot of these lines have moved because the market's gone through its day now, so VWAP will be much different. But you could see it was a nice play on the way back up, and look where we started getting out. 225 was our first take. That's $1. We probably short at 225.70, so then it started to really come in. 224's outs. Again, it's all scrambled because it doesn't look as dramatic. Then we went right back into low of the day, 222.58. So that's 350 worth of a win. And we're like, oh yeah, now we got it. Comes all the way back in, 220 holds. We get another piece out when it breaks through 222 again. Come back in, 218 holds. We get another piece. These are all 50 periods, now 221. So now we're taking $5 winners and pretty happy with it. But look at the end of the day, it absolutely collapses on itself down to 217, holds, breaks back out, 219, our final out for a $7 winner on Tesla, which was pretty good because look what happened right at the end of the day. Now remember, we have those market on close imbalances that come through. They had a huge effect today. We saw AMD rip back up to 102.50-ish, and you can see what it did to Tesla. Looks like we had a market on close buy for Tesla, and look what happened after that was done. Huge candle going through. That's about 3 million shares right there at the close for Tesla. But then when that was done, we came all the way back in, finishing at 218. But hey, that's a $7 winner. Worthy of a swig of vodka right there. Nice move down in for Tesla. Ends the day at down 9.93%. Was this an SSR bounce? Potentially. The SSR came at 218.40, which put it down 10%. Now remember, the fact that we hit that down 10% might not mean anything to options traders or things like that, but tomorrow it's SSR, meaning, and if we come over here to the screen, you're not going to be able to get short off the bid. So you can't just say, oh, I like this 218.50, I'm going to sell into it. You can't do that. You're going to have to get short off the ask. But for Tesla, SSR doesn't really mean anything because there's so much liquidity that's often you can cross the spread to be able to get filled. So for me, Nepa, not worried about that at all for those downside moves. But what I wanted to get at quickly here before we go, so these, if you guys were thinking that this was a dramatic day for Tesla, and again, I meant to do this a little bit after Danielle, but we got to a little bit quicker. Let me zoom in. This was actually, so for those of us that are all worried about the dramatic day, and Danielle will know this as an options trader, let's go back to the screen real quick. This is actually the 31st worst day in Tesla history. So although there were dramatic moves back in, you could see 2020, 2012, 2020, 2020, you got some big moves there, 2010, 2013, 18, 19. So, you know, this is today. Now it ends down 9, so we're actually in here, 27th, where we ended. But as of taking this note, we were down 31st. So you're still in a pretty, you know, reasonable day for them. And remember, Tesla has been a huge upside surprise and an upside mover. One more note, again, not today, but if you're buying dips, look, opportunity today strikes. What was the other one? And we're going to get to Danielle, believe me. Netflix today, again, tale of two stories. Netflix had been warning us of possible subscriber growth issues because their ad-supported tier was a little bit weaker than expected, but that doesn't seem to be the case because they reported 8.7 into 6.9. So you can see there today, huge move up for Netflix. Here's it on the daily, nice gapper up there, taking out the 50 period for a nice move up there on Netflix. And what I wanted to show you about Netflix was up here, these are the historical earnings. So what looked bad for Tesla today, this is Netflix. So again, this is historical earnings reports for Netflix. We just had in 2013, look at this, huge for 20. Look what happened in January of 2013, 40%. They followed up their very next quarter with a 22% move up. So today, closing the day, where did we close Netflix? 16%. So right here, the I guess 7th or 8th best day in Netflix history for earnings. So Netflix goes all the way back. Look, we have an 05. So back 20 years for Netflix, giving us the 7th best day in their reporting history. So a little bit of tale of two tapes there, as we knew there'd be some volatility coming through into earnings season. Before we go to Danielle, Danielle's ready, I assume, guys? Okay, WAL, I'm still not seeing any movements on that. 44.90, it's Trader Talk, let's go. Miss Danielle Shea is with us. How was your seminar, your webinar that you had the other day, or has that happened yet? We had Chris talk about it yesterday.
Yeah, it was great. I had a webinar last night because I'm teaching an earnings class on Saturday. So yeah, it was good.
Good, so anybody interested in joining that class can do so, I guess, even now. You're talking about it happening Saturday. They can go find you on Twitter.
Yeah, for sure. Go to my Twitter and I can post the link below too if you want to check it out.
All right, let's scratch each other's backs right there. Thank you, Ms. Danielle Shea. Go check her out this weekend for an earnings. What is some of the stuff that you discuss, actually? You're talking about an earnings call. So are you talking about positioning heading into earnings, stuff like that? Let's do a little promotion for Ms. Danielle Shea.
Well, I mean, a lot of it is everything we talk about here. We're looking at pre-earnings moves, we're looking at overnight earnings moves, and we're looking at post-earnings moves too. I mean, I place trades around all of those events, and specifically right now, I mean, I'm looking at a lot of overnight earnings trades in the options market. So, I mean, I know you guys were looking at Netflix, you're looking at Tesla, you're looking at ENPH. I mean, these were all at the top of my radar, and as we get into next week, it's just going to be busier and busier. So I love earnings season, and it's always what I'm down to come here and talk to you guys about.
Yeah, so we always talk about Tesla. I mean, that's a name that we always seem to talk about, and you're here the day of Tesla earnings. I feel like this took maybe you by surprise as well, because we had sort of looked at these plays and you had said you weren't so interested looking at sort of the price movements heading into this earnings call from Tesla. And then you just saw the graphic, although feels like a panic day and like we're all nervous about it, but still in the 20s for a worst possible day ever for Tesla. So that's not great. Doesn't make us feel good about our long-term positions. But can you maybe throw some good news at this, or is it all just really bad? What are we going to do with this report from Tesla?
I mean, here's the thing, Sean. I mean, it's not good news from Tesla. I think Elon was pretty negative on the earnings report overall. But I mean, in good news for us, like, we're traders, right? So when we get these big earnings moves, post earnings, I mean, I know you were shorting it. That's exactly what I'm doing too. So what I like to do in the options market is before these reports come out, I can look at the market maker move and see what the move is that's being priced in. And if that move turns out to be 1.5 or 2 times what's expected, those are the tickers that are going to keep going. So, Tesla was on the radar for that, shorting it to the downside. Netflix was on the radar for that, trading it higher to the upside. So, obviously my long-term stock portfolio is looking a little bit sad today with the downside move in Tesla, but I think we can trade it into 215, and ideally it'll hold at the 200 simple. But, if it doesn't, then you're probably going to get an even bigger flush, because anytime you break the 200 simple on a daily chart, that is no good for any stock.
Yeah, that was, I mean, you and I had messaged back and forth before, and I actually wrote that on the sticky note today. Watch out for 215. I wish I would have known it came that close. We would have held our whole short that whole way. But I'm with you. I don't like the way that Elon sounded, looked, or anything there on that call. Not a very positive look. By the way, you settled for the F-150 Lightning, didn't you?
No, I just have a regular F-150, the gas powered.
Oh, gas powered. But you're no longer waiting for that Cybertruck, or what's going
I
on with
mean,
that?
we're waiting, but
Okay,
you know,
okay.
I'm not missing it. Let's just say.
Right, right, right. I'm still a little bit, I don't know. He talked about that, that's coming through in November. I think that could be a catalyst if you start seeing some Cybertrucks riding around. It's just like what you and I talked about with AMC the other day, right? Getting that sort of Taylor Swift bump. Maybe the more that we see these sort of, I think they look like army vehicles, but on the road, maybe that will spark a little bit. Do you want to talk a little bit about AMC? Is there anything on your mind? Because AMC has a nice little fall down here. If you come over to my screen, it's been pretty disastrous back down there. We did have a pretty decent hold though, back in there around 6, 7, $7, $6. Nice bounce over the last couple of days. Let me just call up maybe a 60-minute chart here for AMC, but you're getting a nice little hold here at $9. I don't ever want to see people in this name because, oh my God, what are we going to do about Taylor Swift and all that? I feel like if you're in there for a quick trade, and maybe that's where you can play options, trying to play some of that momentum, it's always, and you tell me, this is right up your alley, isn't it always buy the rumor, sell the news? I feel like that's what happened here with Taylor.
Man, I was too late on this one, Sean, and I lost money on it. You know,
Okay.
I got into it like literally like at the peak. It was not a good entry. I got in right here on the 12th. Taylor's movie was coming out that day. I wanted to do it because I love Taylor Swift and it has high short interest. And here's the thing with these high short interest tickers is if you get in at the high, which is normally not something I do, but if it has short interest, I will. And the reason for that is because that's the spot where those short sellers will cover. But in this instance, it was exactly buy the rumor, sell the news. The day that the movie came out, you know, it just rolled over. So I got out. I took a loss on this on Monday. At this point, I'm probably not going to get back in it unless it shows signs of trying to short squeeze again. And just because, you know, when you have a ticker like this that loses momentum, it's really hard for it to get another catalyst. And I think the news is over on this one. So I think we'll probably just have to wait until earnings for another good trade on it.
Yeah, we have I have a short float of only 8.8%, so you can like find way higher names shortable for that one. So I'm canceling AMC as well. AMC, you're canceled on that one, so we'll see. Slap a fail on that for now. Although, did you see the Taylor Swift movie or concert? I kind of want to.
I did not see it, but I've been watching all the Chiefs games because I'm a big fan, and I'm gonna go to the movie. So
there we go. See, this is I knew. But you are already a Chiefs fan, and now you get everything put together. It's a perfect. I've heard them called trailer, like Travis and Taylor. I don't know if I like that one or not. Okay, you've talked about this, and it's sad because you're not going to be joining me for a couple weeks now. You're going to be busy and traveling, and you've mentioned that to me. So hard to replace, but we'll try. Anyways, I know that you're excited for Meta. You've talked about Meta being one of the stronger names to come through here. You know, over the last little while. It's nicely above. If you come over to my screen, I'll give you a second to maybe call that up as well. Come over here, Ramin. On the daily chart for Meta, it's been a good one. You know, we're still above the 50 simple as well. I know that's something that you look at. We're well above the 200 down here at 245. We're not even close to it. I'm not worried about a gap fill or anything. I really feel that advertising is still pretty strong. I know that Threads hasn't been the greatest take so far, but they did get a lot of signups on there earlier. We did have that MetaQuest 3. I think it came in at a decent price point of about 500. My kid's already knocking on the door. He wants it. So I feel like that's going to be something coming into Christmas. And I like Meta here. I think advertising is going to be strong. How does it look from your standpoint?
John, you know, I think that Meta is one of the best shots next week to save the NASDAQ and to cause a short squeeze. I mean, if you look at the daily chart on Meta and you look at the last 3 earnings reports, you've got an 8.9% gap up last quarter, 14.6% gap up the quarter before that, 19% gap up the quarter before that. You have this perfect trend. You know, there's nothing that I can complain about it besides the fact that I just don't really like Facebook, which doesn't matter at all when you look at all the data. So, right. I mean, I think that Meta Alphabet and Microsoft are really our next best shot at causing a short squeeze in the NASDAQ. And, we've got the patterns, we've got the data. Just please, God, come through, because I think it would be a fantastic trade into the end of October. But here's the thing about it is, because it looks so perfect, if they can't have a good report, then we're hosed. So I'm looking forward to trading it. I'll have to see where it's at right before the report to decide how I'm going to trade it, but I have high hopes.
Yeah, no, I was thinking, I don't like when we say let's hope to God that something happens, because
right.
I've been sitting there in my trades like, please God, just turn around. And that's when, the Thor hammer comes down on the trade. But do we really need to save the NASDAQ? We had Chris on yesterday, and he talked about that put-call ratio still being quite high at 1.2. Is that still the case? Because this is something that you've brought into our attention over the last couple of weeks, and I think that was a great point. Heading into seasonality, we generally can run into the end of the year. Then we have that put-call ratio offside, heavier to the put. Is that still the case? Is that something that you're still looking at?
Yeah, it's definitely still the case, and it's still high. And I mean, the thing is it's one of those things where it's setting up a short squeeze that can occur, but you need a catalyst to set off that squeeze. And so we haven't had a catalyst yet, and we've been waiting now for like a month. And so the opportunity that I see that could be that catalyst is earnings next week. And so, I love trading the short squeeze. I would love to see it come through. I've been waiting for a long time. But the thing is like the NASDAQ is breaking down. And so when you're looking at the way that it's breaking down, and you're looking at how close it is to retesting September lows, it makes sense that people are short, because the technicals don't look good. And so, I don't know. I'm torn, and I need a catalyst. I
know you wanted to talk about end phase a little bit here today. ENPH, I saw you there in the chat. Thanks to Bears versus Bulls on that one. One has an 8.8% short float right here. I have them not reporting until the 26th, but there's a pretty dramatic move right now down to the downside, down to $100 again here for ENPH. Did I miss it? Did they just come through and report today? Let's see, Benzinga. I don't know. What did we miss here on end phase, and what do you want to talk about?
So the reason why I wanted to talk to you guys about this is because this is one of my favorite setups. And, I've been looking at in phase. I posted a video on Twitter, I don't know, maybe a week or two ago, because this is one of my favorite setups. It's called earnings destruction. So when you have a ticker that the last few quarters has been destroyed over earnings, what happens is the closer you get to that earnings report, you have shareholders that are like, oh my gosh, I cannot hold this over a report. What if it gaps down 10 or 20%? And they just start bailing and bailing. And then when the volume picks up, even more people bail. So what happens is, as you get closer to that report, like the thing just rolls over and dies. And then it doesn't help when you have other companies in the space report and those reports are bad. And then the momentum just continues lower. So I don't think you missed it. I think that if anything, it's, picking up steam to the downside, and you're pretty close to that low at 112. So, I think you could trade it down into 112. And if it breaks 112, it could go even lower. But, that's one of the things that I wanted to point out with in phase. And there's so many other tickers too. I mean, I have this whole list right here on my watch list of tickers that normally move, before and after earnings.
Wow.
Like this list over here is tickers that make big moves after earnings that you can trade, Roku, AMD, SEDG. So I don't know, something to look at, but I don't think you guys missed the move.
No, you must not have post market on there, because end phase is at 103 right now. So there
oh man, here, let me put it on there.
Yeah, so there was, no, it's not that. I mean, you called earnings destruction, and it's getting, you can look at my screen right here, guys. It just got pumped right now. There was a Scotiabank downgrade that happened earlier today, but I'm not seeing anything on end phase. Maybe the whole solar space just got, look at this. Look at the TAN ETF. Nice downside move. So some sort of a headline has come somewhere here. Unless it's just Solar Edge, SEDG missing. You just talked about them as well. There's SEDG getting pumped as well down there to the downside. So I feel like, some sentiment plays happening right now as well. So wow, the whole solar space, Danielle, getting absolutely crushed back down to the downside. But I do want to let everybody... Is it? It's 4:30 already? Oh my God, Danielle, when you have fun, man, they ring that bell on you and then it's like time to cut the show. But all right, thank you so much. Look, I want everyone to make sure they follow at Trader Danielle. We're on each other's feeds, so make sure you go find the right one. I know there's a bunch of imposters. And then I want everyone to join you as well on Saturday, so make sure you check that out. Danielle, travel well. Thank you so much for joining. Good luck to your Chiefs. And hopefully we'll all get invited to the wedding between Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
I hope so.
All right. Ciao. Travel well. See you, Danielle.
Bye.
That's Trader Talk. What was that? Where's my Trader Talk thing? Now it's not working. There it is. Man, there's been a couple problems here today with our software. But okay, thank you to Danielle. And make sure you guys do check her out. I mean, honestly, has been supporting of this show since day one, and great information, super smart, and obviously really happy to have Danielle part of sort of this market recap team. And again, check her out. She's always in the chat as well. All right, it's going to be roll call right now, so let's do this real quickly because it is 4:30. My daughter tonight has hockey practice, but it's shooting, so it's dry land. So they'll shoot that, and then my kid has chess tonight. So on that should be my boy. He's amazing at chess. I realized he was amazing at chess when he started talking about, oh, that's the Italian gambit, and this is that. I'm like, dude, I'm just, pawn +1. All right, thank you so much today for all the super chat. Chad, Eyes Up, Ian Respetto, Johnny G is here. Corey, thank you so much. Dustin, Austin, Liverpool, T-Money, for Altaz, go explore the bomb. Why do I always get stuck in this? Larry Summers, Canyon, William Broadwick, DJ Dubs, man, I like that name, it's pretty cool. Kyle, the Hayes Records, he's always here. Natalia also, Comet, Arsis, and Jacob, thank you so much for becoming new members. It's $5 to become a member as well. Sometimes I like to see if there's been any fan funding. We just have new members. Thank you so much, Christine, for coming through as well. But hey, it is now roll call time. Would you watch a Trader TV Live podcast? Let me see. 73%, we may or may not. Hey, I'm supposed to be in that bottom left there, man. What's up with that, Ramin? Come on, Ramin. Right now, as we go, I told you we're having issues today. The one thing you can do is hit the like button. And then if you subscribe to the show, it's only $5, but maybe we can fix some of our camera issues. Come on, Ramin. It doesn't matter. It's broken. Okay, quickly, let me just close this. How do I, no, I don't dismiss it. All right, who's here? MVE's here. Andrew's here. What's up? Jack is here, of course. HPDS is here. LOL from the Bulls. What's up, Dingleberg? He's here as well. Carlos, Tony Price, Professor Love. Roll call again. Okay, he's here. Baby Joker's here. What's up, Baby Joker? Don't grow up to be adult Joker. He's an evil character. Super SPAC Man, 6 million barrels of oil. Yeah, they need to put some more oil in that SPC, man. Get that going. SPR, Strategic Oil Reserve. Nice gestures, though. DUS are fair to give 25 points. That's okay. Here, let's spin it right now. See if we get anything going. We go 25 points. We won 2,000 points today, by the way, as we spin it in there. $10 profit. Thank you so much. Is that a poll or rhetorical question? You tell me. We may be working on a podcast, so stay tuned for that right now with the professor as well. We just lost. That's okay. Thank you so much to Peter, Alex, Jiggly, okay. Thanks to Tony Price as well, and thanks to your Huckleberry as well. So I say shout out to to everybody out there. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a blast. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We had almost 500 likes yesterday. Today a little bit lighter on that one, just 315. Hit the like and the subscribe. I want to give a big shout out to Danielle Shea. Thank you so much for joining me here on the recap show, and join her on Saturday. But follow me on X as well, at Trader TV Sean. It's been a crazy day. We had a $7 winner on Tesla. It was fantastic. We left Netflix alone, but great trading today. I felt like it was one of my best days in a while. We were very, very patient. We had one red name on the board today, and that was Meta, and that was a real early, quick one in and out. So thankfully, it was an all-good day today, and we're going to join everybody tomorrow to end the week. We'll live back at 8:30. It's the recap show now, and we're done. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Sean Katina. Join me tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao, guys.